Why the space is black? While when we look in the night sky, we see mostly the dark space and just some bright light from the stars and galaxies far away, but still, shouldn't be the sky we all lit by numerous unlimited numbers of stars from our universe? Let's talk about that. When you look in the sky at night, we see mostly the dark space. If you have a very strong telescope, you can see that even in the black space for our eyes, if you zoom in, we see some more finer sources of light somewhere in the background and more. Nevertheless, most of the space appears to be black in between. People start asking the questions, if we have infinite universe with infinite number of stars in it, shouldn't be the whole sky just bright as the surface of the sun for our observation? Just like in a very dense forest, if you have trees going as far as your eye can see, in all the little gaps between the trees you will see the other trees which is at the back. So similar, we would see just molded together the light from all the stars which exist in this unlimited universe into the one. Here the Olbers paradox comes in place, and let's talk about this in detail. First of all, when Henry Olbers proposed this paradox, at the time scientists believed that our universe is infinite, unlimited, and doesn't have a start or end of existence, so it's infinitely old. Therefore, if you think about speed of light, which is traveling all the time, it's mean all the light which distant stars, universes, galaxies emitted back in the many billions years ago, it should reach our eye and we should see it all on the sky at the same time. Therefore, all sky should be as bright as the blazing sun for us. But it's not happening. The German scientist Henry Olbers called it Olbers paradox. He was trying to solve that problem, but without understanding how the universe worked, he just suggested that the space full of dust, which consumed most of that light, and therefore the space appears black for us. Only the closer stars in galaxies, light can reach till our eye. These days we know a little bit more about the universe, how it works, and Olbers paradox actually helped a lot to understand that too. We talked about speed of light before, watch my previous video. When already in the beginning of 20th century, with the help of Albert Einstein, people understood that the light travels with a constant speed, but this speed is limited. Therefore, the light from distant stars and universes can reach our eye or the surface of the Earth in particular time. However, we do believe that our universe is unlimited, so it stretches beyond. Therefore, it will be impossible for us to look in the sky and don't see the blazing light on it. From here, people start understanding there's something must be wrong with that theory. Or our universe have time of existence, or she probably expanding. So some of the stars which very far from us, they running away from us and the light didn't reach our eyes yet. Let's start from the speed of light. If you think about how the light travels, the more distance it's covered, the less intense light becomes, because we have increase of the square law of the light coming from the source. If you look in the sphere of the light coming from the source, the more distant you away from the source, the bigger square area the light has to cover, and it's become kind of like dispersed. In the same time, we observe the phenomena of the redshift. Redshift is when the light wavelengths shifted towards invisible or infrared spectrum of the light, which very hard to pick up for our eyes or even impossible, and for us the light which reached to our Earth in the redshift we cannot observe, although some modern telescopes can do so. Therefore, when we look in the sky, it might appear that we see only the black spaces, but there will be a lot of light coming from distant galaxies and stars, which we just cannot pick up with our eyes. Secondly, we know that the speed of light is limited. Therefore, if something happening that goes faster than the speed of light, the light beams will never catch up with our eye. From here, and not just from here, from other as well discoveries, which we'll talk about in future videos, people know that actually our universe expanding. It's coming back to this Big Bang theory. Shortly, just for the sake of this video, the explosion happened in a millisecond when our universe started existence, according to scientists who believe in Big Bang. And all the stars, galaxies, and all material start very fast, exploding in all directions. Therefore, we're somewhere in the middle of that in our little galaxy, traveling around our Earth. So those stars and galaxies which quite far on edges of our expandable, limited universe, they're traveling away from us faster than the speed of light to come from them till us. So the light can never catch up till us, and we just don't see that light. Similar, like if you look in a black hole, you don't see anything, no light, just a black space. But the black hole consuming stars, other galaxies, but because it does it in such a speed, we don't see it. The light from the middle of the black hole cannot emit it, it's been all consumed like with a vacuum, so you don't see it. That's why we call it black holes. Similar, we see the space, the black. So we find out, first of all, we might not see some of the very, very distant stars' light because it's shifted to the red spectrum, which we cannot pick up with our eyes. Secondly, a lot of galaxies and stars which traveled further than the speed of light from us, we cannot just see the light because it doesn't have enough time to reach till us. It doesn't catch up with the light of expansion. Therefore, we have the term in this astronomy, the visible universe. The only part of our universe which we could see because of this function of the speed of light and expansion of the universe. All this great understanding of why the space is black brings scientists to the idea that our universe, as we know, have a start point, and probably it has an end point. We can understand now that Olbers' idea that the universe was unlimited in time, unlimited in space, and was always existing, never being created or destroyed, it's not very much true, at least for our observable universe. Just think about the ability of our eyes to see the light and how the world appears to us. During the day, we see the blue sky. During the night, we don't see blue sky, although still it will be blue. Only those who use cameras with long exposure can see. You take in a photograph of the Milky Way or stars, and the light of the space is actually blue. We might understand that our vision is very adaptable, and it's limits our possibilities to see the distant stars or the true light in the dark. Remember, you're walking around your house in the dark, everything appeared grayish, darkish, unless there's some kind of sort of light. You can't differentiate, is it blue or green dress which you pick up last night, when in the dark it's all appear of one gray color. This is the properties of our eyes that led us to see it like that. Therefore, there's several very fundamental reasons why the sky, which we see at night, is mostly black, apart from some very visible and bright stars you can observe. The very simple question like why space is black can bring you to understanding how our universe was created. I hope it encourages you to ask more simple questions and have a lot of fun to find the answers to them.